Did you see him? Tony Todd is in this episode. I love Tony Todd. He's Candyman. He's also the guy that everybody goes to for advice in the Final Destination franchise because he knows about death. And he is also Worf's brother on Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And he also plays the adult Jake Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And he is amazing. He's also terrifying. And he is terrifying in this episode. Except he's a red herring. Oh, this episode is so good. You guys are going to love it. Before we get started, I need subscribers. I have told y'all about my favorite true crime book. It is chock full of articles about crimes. It's in categories. So there's a chapter on children who kill. There's a chapter on crimes against women. There's a chapter of mobsters. There's a chapter on arson. There's a chapter on neurochemistry. There's a chapter on police methods. It's so much. There's a chapter on the history of crime. It is a very, very good book. And I want to buy you a copy. But to do that, you have to subscribe. When I get to 100 subscribers, I will be randomly selecting one of you to win this book. Good luck. And this week, we are talking about Season 1, Episode 7, The Fox. And the Fox is about a family annihilator. But he doesn't annihilate his own family. He annihilates families that are about to go on vacation so they won't be missed. He goes into their house the day their vacation is supposed to start, and he lives with them for that 5 to 7 days, and the day before they're supposed to return, he kills them. When they find all these families, they know that they've only been dead for 24 hours, but they also know that someone has been in their house this whole week. This man is divorced from his wife, and he has 2 kids, and he has not gone after his own family. And I suspect had he not been caught, he would have eventually gone on to annihilate his own family. These families all put out this front of being the perfect little family, and I don't know if it's rage about people pretending to be something they aren't, or just that his family was not a good family and he knows deep down that these families aren't good families. But there's no such thing as a bad family. Every family has bad seeds and problems, and that's just how life is. But apparently when you're a psychopath, you think differently. And I don't know. I'm not a psychopath, so I don't know how psychopaths think. The Easter Sunday Massacre happened on March 30th, 1975. This is the story of James Urban Ruppert. He was 40 years old at the time. He was single, unemployed, and he lived with his mother. This poor man had a horrible upbringing. His father bullied him. His mother constantly reminded him that he was not a girl. She had wanted a girl. So he got the "I wish you were a girl" and the bullying from his dad. And his dad died when he was 12 and his older brother was 14. His dad was Leonard Ruppert. His brother was Leonard Ruppert Jr. And his brother's son, his nephew, was Leonard Ruppert III. When Leonard Ruppert Sr. died, Jr. started bullying Jimmy. James Urban Ruppert. He went by Jimmy. His brother started bullying him. He became extremely paranoid. When he was 16 years old, he tried to hang himself. He was unsuccessful. And he thought that his mother and his brother and the FBI were trying to ruin his reputation by telling people that he was gay and a communist. So between the horrible upbringing, the not feeling wanted ever in his family, to now being paranoid that his family are doing and saying bad things about him, he had a lot of problems. And to top it off, one of his only girlfriends he ever had, when they broke up, started dating his brother. And they got married and had 8 children. His brother went to college, and he was a successful engineer for General Motors. Jimmy went to college and flunked out after 2 years. The brothers could not have been more different. And he felt it, and he resented it, and he was paranoid about it. So on Easter Sunday, Leonard Jr. and his wife Alma and his 8 children came over to visit their mother, Charity, for Easter. They had already had Easter dinner at the other grandparents' house after church. So it was in the afternoon. It was about 4:30 in the afternoon when they finished up their Easter egg hunt. And then at 5 o'clock they came in, and Charity started cooking dinner. She was cooking sloppy joes because they'd already had their Easter dinner. So about 5, Jimmy came downstairs. His mother, Alma, and Leonard Jr. were in the kitchen. And he walked in the kitchen to say hi. And later he said that his brother said with a mocking smile, "How's that Volkswagen, Jimmy?" Which he took as an insult. At first I thought, what the heck? Why would that tick him off? But as I did further reading and further research, I found out he took it as an insult because his brother was so successful that he thought it was a slur against the kind of car that he drove, because he wasn't as successful enough to have a nice car. So he goes back up to his room, stays up there for about an hour, comes down with 3 handguns and a rifle. He never used the rifle. He went into the kitchen. He shot his brother first, then his sister-in-law Alma, then his mother, then Michael, his 16-year-old nephew, 15-year-old Thomas, and 13-year-old Carol, his nephew and niece. Then he went into the living room. His nephew, 17-year-old Leonard III, tried to stop him, but he didn't stand a chance. So then he went and he killed Anna, 12, David, 11, Teresa, 9, and John, 4. His sister-in-law, that was also his ex-girlfriend, was the only one that was only shot through the heart once. After he shot everybody, then he went through and he shot everybody a second time to make sure they were dead, with the exception of Alma. He was only shot through the heart. Then he contemplated suicide. But suicide is a mortal sin, so he decided not to. I so don't get that. Anyway. So he called the cops around 9:30 and he said there's been a shooting. When they got there, he was standing in the door of the house waiting for them. And at first glance, nothing looked amiss. There was no signs of forced entry. There was no signs of a struggle. When the cops got in the house, that's when they actually saw that there was 5 dead in the living room and 6 dead in the kitchen. One of the cops, for some reason, I don't know why he went into the basement, but he said that the blood was actually dripping through the floorboards into the basement of the house. That's a lot of blood. His first trial, he pleaded innocent due to insanity, which was the wording at the time. And that trial was a mistrial. His second trial was a panel of 3 judges. He was wrongly told that all 3 judges had to agree. 2 judges found him guilty. 1 judge found him insane. He went to prison. They didn't need all 3 judges. They only needed a majority. So because the judges only needed 2 to find him guilty, he was sentenced to life in prison. And in 1982, because he was told incorrectly that they needed all 3 judges to agree, he was given another trial. In this trial, it was tried by a jury. And he was found guilty on his brother and mother's murder. The rest, his sister-in-law and the 8 kids, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. So he was sentenced to 2 life sentences for his mom and his brother. He was sent to the Allen Oakwood Correctional Institution to serve 2 life sentences in Lima, Ohio. In 2019, he was transferred to the Franklin Medical Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, due to failing health. He was denied parole 3 times. And here's the crazy thing. I mean, the whole thing is crazy, but even crazier thing, they think his motive was financial gain, because he would have gotten about $300,000 if he had been found not guilty for any reason. Today would be about $1 million. But I don't see how you can kill your whole family and call the cops and financial gain be a motive. Because, duh. Who's gonna get off? Who's gonna get acquitted of 11 murders? I think he got off easy by just getting acquitted of 2. But at any rate, his next parole hearing would have been in 2025, but he died on June 4th, 2022 at 88 years old. This one's a crazy one, y'all. Crazy, 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 and extremely sad. Extremely, extremely sad. So that's it for the Easter Sunday Massacre. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. And remember, please subscribe. I need subscribers. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell for notifications. I need you, people. I need you. Take it easy. See you next time. Bye.